Trekkers and Trekkies. Got a little video for you here. Gonna take a look at the 6-inch figures from the 2009 Kelvin Universe film Star Trek. This movie was the start of a decent trilogy. I still, to me, Into Darkness is the best one. I really enjoyed it, and I wouldn't mind seeing them do some more. I do like most of the cast really well. Simon Pegg is one of my favorite people, period. So let's jump into it, and we'll talk about some of the interesting things going on with these figures. If you haven't seen the video that I did on the 4-inch figures that they had done at the same time, you should definitely check that out. Talk about some of the weird things that happened with those, and the whole kerfuffle with uniforms being wrong, which some of them are the same thing here. And the whole making the computers and stuff for building the bridge, and the mistakes that were made with that. But, alright. Other than that, let's get into it. So, first thing, every figure actually came with a base. There was the cadets who came in the cadet uniform, or cadets. Characters that came in the cadet uniform came with this gold badge, and all of the characters wearing regular uniforms got this silver badge with the star on it, which we'll get into that because the whole cadet uniform thing is got a mix up again to it. And then all of them came with this belt, which it comes with 2 little pockets on it that do hold a communicator and a phaser, which you can take out, and you've got a fidget phaser there. It doesn't do the spinny thing like the ones in the movie. And you can get the communicator out, but let me see. It's a tricky. I'm not even going to try and do it on camera because it's so tiny. Okay. There. So, got that out. They don't even ask about trying to get that to focus. It's too small. It does not flip open or anything. And it does have the little latch in the back to put that on. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate that with the first character we're going to look at, which is Captain Pike. This was Bruce Greenwood played Captain Pike. Did a pretty good job, I think. It was definitely different, especially compared to the way that Anson Mount plays him now. Incredibly different. I like the way that these are actually the texture on the uniforms, and this is the figure. It's all hard plastic for the arms, for the legs, boots, the head, but the shirts are actually this Stretch Armstrong rubber. And what's interesting is that for all of the male figures, they use the same body. Of course, Hora is the only female figure that they made, period. Every other figure was a male. They did ball joints in most of the pieces. It's a pivot joint on the hands, and the same with the head is also pivot. Single pivot on the legs and the knees, but the feet do rotate, the boots rotate. What's interesting is they actually did put a ball joint in this section here, which this is the other thing, is that they don't rotate at the waist. They rotate up at the under the ribs section, but they don't actually have a whole lot of forward backward movement in there. So I just hope that Bruce Greenwood didn't turn on this video and then watch me just rip his body to pieces. I apologize, sir, if that happens. It'd be kind of funny, though. Oh, dear God, that man just ripped me in half. But I put you back together, so it's okay. Of course, one thing that you may have noticed is that they gave everyone incredible abs. Let's just... Whoop. Like, I don't even need to bother with my camera focusing. You can still see that. Look at that six-pack. And yes, everyone, including... Well, we'll get to that. But, yeah. So, there's Captain Pike. The head sculpt is mostly good. I think it's a touch soft. The hair, I think, is what actually bugs me the most. For some reason, the hair doesn't look quite right for him. But let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is Checkoff in a cadet uniform, which he never wore in the movie. This goes back to what I talked about in the previous video with the 4-inch figures of the mix-up on who would be wearing what uniforms and all that mess. So he's in the cadet uniform, and yes, again, same rubber, and everything else is hard plastic. His feet do not rotate because they've got this straight pant. If they're wearing boots, they do have the rotating. I was going to show you somebody holding this, and so I'll make sure and do that now so you can see what it's like when they're holding the phaser. It is a little bit loose, but it doesn't fall out so easily, and you can get the belt to fit. It's not a snug fit, but it's a fit on all of the characters like that. So, of course, the phaser doesn't fit very well into the belt. You have to kind of squeeze it in. But hopefully, never mind. Hopefully at some point I will get an extra Sulu figure and can do a head swap with the Checkoff and get him into the correct uniform. But for now, I've just got him like that. Speaking of Sulu, here he is. This is actually probably one of the better face sculpts. The Checkoff one is pretty good too. The eyes on every one of these, I think that's the one thing. The eyes on every one of these is a little bit dead. They're a little lifeless, but it's okay. I actually just recently saw a video of I'm going blank on the actor who played Sulu. I cannot remember his name right this second, but he was actually unboxing Sulu figures. And the thing of it is that most of the ones that he did were original series George Takei Sulu. And then they finally had him open one of these, and he got a kick out of the 6-pack that's on these as well. But yeah, like I said, I need to get another one of him so I can do that head swap and have them in the right uniform. So, moving on up to my favorite character from these movies, Scotty. Which, of course, the funny thing about this one is that he only wore this uniform for what, about 2 minutes in the entire movie. Uh, he was in a civilian outfit for most of the film. Um, Pretty good likeness. The hair again is a little, doesn't quite. It looks a little too slick backed, but it's pretty good overall. Um, and yeah, it's funny how much of these uniforms actually do remind me of the new Strange New Worlds uniforms, especially like the boots that have the buckles on the side of them and that kind of thing. And of course, the carrying over of the Delta shield on everything. Um, Now, here's our other figure that was in a cadet uniform, Uhura. Now, the thing about this is that it actually, if you don't look too closely, you can be like, oh, she's just wearing a regular uniform, and it's all red, and nobody will notice. Uh, she doesn't have a comm badge on for some strange reason. And if you're wondering, no, she didn't get abs. Uh, but the skirt is also this rubbery material, which I like because it allows her to actually sit really, really well. Of course, the bad thing is a lot of people have complained that over the years, the shirts and skirts on these have started to break down. Something about the rubber, they tend to, after about 10, 15 years, they start to degrade and fall apart and just completely disappear. So, next, I do not have a Dr. McCoy. He's the only crew member I am missing. Of course, I think that they had him in a cadet uniform because of that lovely mistake. So we've got Spock. Only blue shirt person I have. Of course, technically the only blue shirt person that they made. Because if I got a McCoy, I would need to do a head swap on these and get them correct. Yeah, this one's actually, again, real good head sculpt. They have the hand so that he can do the live long and prosper hand salute. Although, because the way that it's positioned, you have to do it way up in the air, whereas typically they just kind of held it, about neck high. The way that these action figures are, they've got to hold it up there. So, then we have, again, character who only wore this uniform for a couple of minutes in the movie, Captain Kirk, who started off the movie as a cadet. They show the whole cadet thing. This one has the worst. Let me, if I do that, we can get everybody answering that way. The worst eyes of any of them. And I'm not going to get the camera to focus well enough, I don't think. Maybe if I really bring it in and make my hand turn bright pink. This camera hates me, I swear. I'm going to have to, hopefully I can get a new one sometime in the next 100 years. That will actually allow me to focus on something close up. But anyways, look it up online yourself. You're going to be like, that's not the point of making videos like this, man. You're supposed to be able to show us. Well, it's okay. You can pretend. Pretend along and everybody will be happy and it'll be fine. This is the one with the worst eyes, in my opinion. They look a little not right. So, last figure I've got, I don't have Nero, the villain of the film, but I do have Elder Spock, played of course by Leonard Nimoy. Um, he's mostly good facial sculpt. It really does look like Leonard Nimoy. He's got on this long Vulcan robe, and again, he also has his hand positioned, doing the live long and prosper. And in case you're wondering, yes, even the 150-year-old Vulcan gets six-pack abs, because that's what every 160, 50-year-old, however old he is by the point of this movie, because I can't remember, should have. So, that is the 2009 Star Trek 6-inch figures. Now, these did not come with any, they never planned any kind of computer consoles or bridge display or anything. I know that someone has made the captain's chair from the movie available on, I think it's on Thingiverse if I recall, for it to be 3D printed, which is a possibility. I might get around to doing that just so I can have that for them if I eventually have a house with enough shelves to put everything on display. But for now, after this video is done, they will go back into the box and under the cabinet and away from all glaring sight of what they are for now. Well, if you like the 2009 films, the Kelvinverse films, let me know. Tell me what you thought of them. Did you like all of them? Did you like just one of them? Have you never seen them? If you haven't seen them, you should check them out. The third one, I think, like I said, I think the third one's probably the best one. But yeah, everybody has their own opinion. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.
If you enjoy my videos and want to see more, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. Also, you can support the show by signing up on Patreon, or head over to Zazzle to pick up prints of my artwork, prints on canvas, t-shirts, and other merch. You can find me on social media. For more information and updates on the channel, all info is below. If you didn't enjoy the video, why are you still here? Do you want a song? Ba, ba, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, them, 3 bags full. One for the master, who can screw himself. You can listen to somebody else.